Welcome to my show. It's a guest here. His name is Andrew Marshall. Mr. Andrew, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing excellent. How are you today, Temi?
I'm fine. Thank you very much. And also, thanks so much for the time and the opportunity, Mr. Andrew. Firstly, you are a coach. You also help people heal from the career you've brought up in the life you found yourself. Can you please, Mr. Andrew, discuss more about yourself and how you're doing currently now, Mr. Andrew?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. Thank you for the question and inquiring about, the work that I do. Um, yeah, my practice now, it's in the realm of coaching. You could put it in the realm of life coaching, but I feel like what I do is, the word coaching doesn't quite encompass the full spectrum of the work that I've been involved in for a good 20 years now, and the work that I do with my clients. It's really about helping people in the most deep and effective ways in their personal healing processes, in strengthening and cultivating in their professional performance, in who they are and how they're being in the world, and in helping them really experience and embody the truth of who they are. You know, all, we've experienced this for ourselves in certain ways, probably, and we've probably heard many people speak about, well, I'm trying to find myself. I'm trying to be my most authentic self, something like that, right? And I really, through the process of everyone I work with, that's one of the main intentions I have is to help them really have the clear and direct experience and embodiment of the truth of who they are. Because then I don't have to know the details of your career. I don't have to have expertise in those areas, right? I just need to help you come home to your truth, your clarity, and then the creativity, the brilliance, the insights, all of that will flow if you're tuned into the truth of who you are.
I completely agree. If we are true to ourselves and who we are, then it helps us heal better and also become more better. And I also love the point whereby you heal a lot of people in kind of issues they find themselves in or the kind of ups and downs they might probably have made themselves or into you as a person who will actually help them get through those situations in life. And also, I would like to drive to a book you've written, How to Embody Your Full Potential. Can you please, Mr. Andrew, discuss more on that book? And do you also plan to write more books in the coming future, Mr. Andrew?
I appreciate that question. Yeah, so that's an ebook that I wrote, gosh, I don't know, a little over a year ago or something. And I was just feeling into what's something that I could offer that could be a free offering that people could come to my website or check me out and then read something, get more of a feel for me and get some immediate value in how I'm wanting to support people. And so how to embody your full potential is it's basically a short and impactful book that can support you with insights and principles of how to focus on your how to do what we've just touched on here, how to focus on your healing processes, how to strengthen and cultivate your mindset, and how to get into a good rhythm in your daily life, and also how to be true to yourself. You know, there's so many things that we can experience, whether it's internal challenges, internal pains, traumas from the past, or experiences we've had from other harmful experiences we've had from others, or what we feel society is telling us. There's so many things that can get in the way and block our clarity from being true to ourselves. And so the book, How to Embody Your Full Potential, is a short, powerful guide to at least help you start on the process of clearing away what's not true to your best and highest good and helping you really align with what is.
Thank you so much for the insight. Actually, helping someone get to their full potential, and also from your website, as you said, how they could get the ebook and also build themselves to become more better is very, very, very important in our life. And also, I would like to drive to the point of our physiological our physiology and spiritual self, Mr. Andrew. In our life that we have today, we have a lot of physical parts and we also have our spirituality part. We have the ancient one and we have the modern one. And many, listeners could be searching for that kind of balance, Mr. Andrew. How do you think integrating physiology and spirituality help someone feel more whole and less fragmented in daily life, Mr. Andrew?
I think a key thing to remember on our journey, on our personal growth journey, our spiritual journey, whatever we want to call it, a key sort of disposition and perspective to hold is that we're all lifelong students. So I'll always sit here and do my best to give the responses on what I've learned and what I've gained, but I'm right here learning and growing alongside you and everyone else who's listening. And you know, the way I view it is there's four different, I guess you could call like aspects of our being. There's our physical, our mental, our emotional, and our spiritual. The psychological more so points to our mental and emotional and behavioral experiences, right? And our spiritual, when I think about what is the essence of spirituality, and I think the essence of spirituality is our experience and our relationship with truth, with the truth of reality, the truth of this reality that we experience all around us, and the truth of who we are. And of course, our spirituality is around in that truth. You know, it's our relationship to God, the who and the what that created what we're experiencing right now and who we are, right? The connection to spirit, the essence of life that's all around us and flowing through us. You know, and so our underlying spiritual experience and how we view ourselves and reality spiritually is going to greatly influence our mental and emotional experience. It's going to greatly influence the psychological. You know, I think the first thing we need to do if we're feeling fragmented and you know, we're not sure what to do, is to start reaching out and seeking different, just different practices and exploring different practices. I know on the beginning of my healing and spiritual journey, I was having a real hard time in life. I was in a bad place in life
Mm,
and within myself. And I just got so sick of myself. I got so sick of the pain and the chaos I was experiencing within myself. And I said, I got to do something about this. So I started seeking out different meditation practices, started learning about different spiritual practices, started learning about psychology and nutrition and and so, in a broad sense, in a general sense, it's like the first thing you got to do is get proactive about finding the perspectives and the practices that really resonate for you
mm,
and that feel right to support you. So, bring in a meditation practice. Yes, definitely bring in a meditation practice or some kind of spiritual practice. But then also, if you're really struggling mentally and emotionally, probably good to seek out a coach or a therapist that can help guide you through some mental or emotional processes to better understand yourself, better understand the challenges you're experiencing, better understand past experiences that you've had and how to free yourself from the emotional weight of those. You know, so that's the first step. Those are the first steps, I would say.
Thank you so much for the beautiful insight, Mr. Andrew. It shows that physiology deals with the mind, our emotions, and everything that we are using to build ourselves, and also the spirituality as well, which connects us with the universe, how we can help ourselves. And I also love the personal experience you've had when it comes to you connecting and also building your personality when it comes to healing and also our physiology as well, because we have to know how we could connect naturally within the universe because it's something that we have to use to learn in our daily life. And also, some people will be in a position whereby they are stuck. They are stuck in a position whereby they are stuck in their old emotional patterns. Those patterns that they use in their old time, they are stuck. They do not know how to get out of those patterns. We spoke about ways that we can develop ourselves, with physiology and stuff, but they are stuck in that old emotional pattern. How do you think physiological awareness work together with these spiritual practices to create a real change, Mr. Andrew?
Yeah, and I'm trying to, the distinguish in my, like we said earlier, we can distinguish the psychological and the spiritual, with the psychological being more about the mind and the emotions, the
Yeah.
spirit being more about spirit, God, essence, you know, life beyond this life, all of that, truth of who we are. But in my experience, there is no difference. Right. So I think that's also a key thing to work on. If you're working on your mindset, if you're working on your emotional healing, if you're in prayer or meditation, like there's really, it's all one, So I think it's important to remember that you're working on your emotional healing and your mindset, you're in a deep spiritual practice, right? And if you're in prayer or meditation, then you're also working on the experience of your thoughts,
Yeah.
your emotions, right? So that ultimately that's how they work together. Now, each one of us has a little bit of a different feel in how we view spirituality or how we might view psychology and all that. And some people might feel like they're more of a spiritual person. Some people might not feel like they identify so much as a spiritual person. And that's cool. Again, that's us just being true to ourselves there. But um, in my experience, I feel that um, let's say we're going to a therapist
Yeah.
and they're helping you work through, your mental and emotional challenges. If you bring in, if you also bring in a spiritual focus and a spiritual practice along with working with your therapist on your mental emotional challenges, it's going to greatly deepen and enrich that process and that experience. Because when we feel a sense of spiritual connection and unity and oneness, we end up touching the most beautiful and profound feeling that exists, which then influences our mind and our emotions and completely changes how we view reality.
Thank you so much for this beautiful insight. The first thing I really like about what you said is the physiological part also work in hand with the spiritual part, and the work hand in hand, and also how beautiful we can also use this physiology because some of us are always spiritual, as you said, and some of us are in the physiological step. But we should know how we could try our best to break on this pattern and see how we could also use that to help ourselves to become more aware, to work together to also create a real change that will help us in several ways. And also, we have challenges today. We have burnout, we have self doubt, we have anxiety. Even we have people who have taught to a point whereby they want to commit suicide. So there are a lot of things that are happening in our time currently. So when listeners face challenges like anxiety, like burnout, like self doubt, what do you think are the practices that can help them shift from this disconnection to get to a sense of alignment, Mr. Andrew?
Mm. Well, there's kind of three core basic things. Like if you're just, let's say you just want to work on that on your own. I would say three core things that you could tend to immediately if you're dealing with burnout, anxiety, overstressed, self-doubt, not knowing what to do. The first thing is make sure you're getting good sleep. I know that's an answer that might not be always expected, But that can be one of the hardest things to do when we have so much going on in life and we're feeling anxious and it's hard to slow our minds down. It's like there needs to be a priority on getting good sleep, good rest. Then from there, bring in a practice of meditation or prayer, okay? And start either reading or listening to books that you feel could support and inspire you. Okay, so those like get good rest, bring in a spiritual practice of meditation, reflection, and start taking in books, taking in valuable books that you think um, could be supportive to you. Then reach out, get support from a coach or a therapist or a some sort of spiritual guide, someone who you can really feel supported by. I know that's like, again, when I go back to the beginning of my journey, I just started looking up everything about what's this meditation thing about. I started reading books on psychology. I started reading books on nutrition. I've always been an athlete, so I was always exercising hard. And that's another thing. Bring in some form of physical exercise, and getting outside. Um, these are important things to just make sure they're built into our lives, and that can just be something that uplifts us and allows us to slow down and have deeper reflection. It's like, okay, I'm overwhelmed. I'm burning out. I need to, how's my breath? I need to slow down, take a deep breath, and reflect on what I need to change here. What needs to happen here? What do I need to bring into my life to support myself? Do I need to get out of this job? And maybe those thoughts then become overwhelming and hard to deal with. So then that's where, like, I have to get support. Number one priority has to be get support.
Hmm. The number one thing I really love with what you said is rest. No matter what we do in life, no matter how tough it is, we have to know how to take a rest and take a rest, for some hours and give this sense of body to have this relaxation. Because sometimes there are some sickness we have, we usually think we have to go back again to use medicine and treat ourselves again or spiritually meditation. But when we see that we have some rest and we take a lot of rest with our time, not too much time, but taking the rest and also helping ourselves to get connected, as you said earlier, with other things like nature, helping ourselves to surround ourselves with community and stuff like that, are also things that can help us break through from this sense of anxiety, burnout, and also self-doubt. Because as you said, if we store some things on our head and we get those things in our head too much, we get to a point whereby it gets burned out and we get to a sense whereby anxiety starts to come in. And that is where we do not want. And that is why taking rest and having ourselves connected with nature in one way or the other is something that can also help us heal and also become better in the life we find ourselves. And also, I would like to drive to a point, Mr. Andrew, community. In our life today, community is something that we do know that it is not really happening like before, but community in its own way also play its own role in healing. When we have community and discuss with people and have a kind of dialogue with one another, it helps some people to heal in one way or the other. So, how do you think listeners can try their best, even in this world where there's digitalism and everything connected through the internet? How do you think they can surround themselves with the right people to support both physiological and spiritual integration, Mr. Andrew?
One thing, let's say you want to, like we talked about, you want to bring in a meditation practice, you want to bring in different kinds of exercise or some kind of spiritual practice. Well, then, there's going to be a center or a place that you can go to where people gather for those things. So I know it might seem like an overly simplistic response, but it's just like with whatever you're wanting to bring into your life, with whatever you're interested in, like just try to go to group where there's group events where people are doing those things. And then you'll meet other people who are in a similar mindset and on a similar journey as you that you can relate with and that you can feel comfortable with. And you might go try one place and you're like, I'm not really feeling that. And it's like, okay, great. But you went, you tried, now you go try another place. Like, I think that proactivity and never giving up are the keys to finding what you want.
Mm.
What I've experienced in my life, I've had things that I've been stuck on for years, things that I've struggled with for years, but I never gave up on finding the remedy and the solution. And I find that even if it takes longer than you think, if you never give up, you will find the remedy and the solution. Let's say you want to bring a yoga practice into your life and you also want more community and friends around that
Yeah.
practice. So you go to the yoga studio, you go find one yoga studio in town and you go there and it's like, okay, but you didn't really feel right for you. It's like, okay, don't stop there. Where's another place in town? Okay, does that one feel good or not? Where's another place in town? Like you have to have that built-in drive and take proactive effort to bring it into your life. And again, if you're feeling stuck, it's where you continue to reach out for help. You don't know who to go to your auntie, go to your cousin, go to
Mm.
your friend, go to your neighbor, go like it's like, oh, I'm stuck. You gotta keep taking steps. Even if you're so weak, you're freaking crawling to your neighbor's house. You're just like, auntie, uncle, like I need help. And just if you can just say that to the right person, boom, so much can open up. There's a beautiful saying, there's an Indian woman who's known a very popular spiritual leader and guru in the world. Her name's Amma, which is kind of a common name in Indian, in yogic and Hindu culture, but she's known as Amma. And she had a wonderful quote that says, um, take one step towards God and he'll take 1,000 steps towards you. So we just got to keep doing that each day. And it's amazing what unfolds when we do that. And this is where what's coming up to share now is now we go back to the mind and the emotions. It's like shifting our thoughts. Because if we're stuck, and we're always thinking, nobody can help me. Like, I've tried a lot of things. It's just not working. It's not going to work. Nothing can help me. Or I'm not even worth it. Or just all I'm using really simple ones. I'm sure everyone could think of what relates to them. Those doubts come in, those thoughts come in. But if we can recognize, like, no, like, I don't have to stop at that thought. It's like, even though I'm feeling hopeless, I know that if I keep doing my best, things will
Yeah.
open up. Like, there's no other choice than to think that. You have to think that. There's other listeners that want to listen to an incredible book that I think, this is for anyone, but especially for men. Every man should read this book, and it's called Man's Search for Meaning. Um, oh, funny, the author's name is escaping me at the moment. Man's Search for Meaning. But that's an really incredible book.
Completely agree with you. No matter what we have in life, no matter what we are trying to pursue in life, there will definitely be triumphs and there will definitely be time where we feel pain and we feel down. And that is why we have to continue to keep moving and continue to just reach out and continue to just strive no matter how down we are. We have to continue to push and push and push. And I am so glad, Mr. Andrew, you did it. And it actually is something that has worked for you in many ways. Because what is the point of we stopping when we've gotten to a certain point in life? We have to continue to just push ourselves and put ourselves through. And I love what you said earlier. We'll face triumphs and we have to know how to reach out. If we don't know how, who we should reach out to, we can reach out to our brother, we can reach out to our sister, we can reach out to our neighbor, we can reach out to our cousin, we can reach out to anybody, someone that we do know that if I talk to, he or she will be able to encourage and see me through. No matter where we are on earth, we will have someone we can actually talk to and say, I have the situation in life. And those are the people we have to engage and talk to. Because in this life that we are, it is not easy, it is tough, and we have to try our best to do a lot of things to get through a lot of things in life. And also, I would like to drive to a point whereby you could share, probably if you can share a practice to our listeners. So, from the experience you've had, you've been into this game of healing for over 20 years now. And if you could just share one simple practice our listeners could start today from the experience you've had to bring their mind, their body, and spirits into alignment because they work hand in hand. What do you think it would be, Mr. Andrew?
One really simple way, um, let's say you're having this intense anxiety, you're dealing with a strong anxiety, and you're having a hard time shaking it. You're feeling very anxious. So close your eyes and just do your best to slow your breathing down. Deep breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And actually just feel the anxiety. Don't even try to fix it. Don't try to change it. Just deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth as you feel the anxiety. Notice where and how you feel it in your body. So let's say, for example, I'm feeling this anxiety and I feel it really strong in my chest. So I'm actually gonna try to feel it. I want to try to focus on it. And then I'm gonna reflect on how is this anxiety adversely affecting me? Or how is it impacting me? I might say, I have a hard time focusing on one thing at a time. Um, I have a hard time connecting with people. I have a hard time even getting to sleep because my mind is racing. It's just like driving me crazy. Continue. Okay. I just acknowledged how I'm feeling it. I'm acknowledging how it's impacting me. I'm continuing to breathe. Okay. Now I'm going to answer the question in myself. What do I want to be experiencing instead? Let's go, huh? Well, I want to feel calm and present. I want to feel clear. I want to feel confident. Okay, great. Now I'm going to put my attention on those feelings that I want to feel. Continue to breathe. And then I'm going to state out loud, even though I feel this anxiety, I know that I can be calm, present, and confident. And I'm just going to repeat that and breathe deeply until I feel a shift in myself, until I feel I can slow down, ground, even though I feel this intense anxiety. I know that I can be calm, I can be present, I can move forward with confidence. Even though I feel this anxiety, I know that I can move forward and be calm, present, and confident. And I'm going to pull out a piece of, right when I open my eyes, pull out a piece of paper, write down what are the top three actions I'm going to take today. Go.
Hmm. Very, very beautiful. Healing comes in many ways, and I cannot believe how calm and how I have improved currently. Healing is very powerful, honestly speaking, because these are things that we can practice on our own when we feel down, when we feel a sense of burnout or anxiety. And these are things that we could know how we could do. And we can use our mind, body, spirit, connect it together. Physiology and the spiritual alignment is very important in our life to make it work hand in hand. If we work on our body, we work on the mind, we work on the spirit. These are things that we need to work on to help ourselves to heal and become stronger in the kind of world we find ourselves today. Also, Mr. Andrew, there is a question I normally ask during the end of the show. from our forefathers, from our ancestors. There are a lot of beautiful things that do exist during our ancestral time that is missing in our time today. If there is anyone or anything you would like to bring back to our time today, Mr. Andrew, what do you think that thing will be, Mr. Andrew?
More time sitting around the fire together at the end of the day.
Completely agree. We are in a position whereby for people to even come together and say, let's hike, or let's come together like in a very quiet place, put fire in the middle of us, and just have this sense of conversation together are things that we are really missing. And those things are beautiful. They are divine. They are things that we cannot explain. It's even naturally on its own, bring its own healing. And these are things that we hope comes back in the coming future so that we can have this sense of connection, a divine connection within ourselves as humans, because these are things that we need most especially in our time today, Mr. Andrew. And also, I want to honestly thank you for the time and the opportunity, because physiology is another part on its own, and on the spiritual alignment part is something that we can work on together to build ourselves and become more stronger, to see how we can use it positively and heal ourselves to actually become more stronger and face every triumphs that we find ourselves today. Thank you so much, Mr. Andrew.
Temi, thank you so much for having me on. And yeah, you have a beautiful presence, an amazing smile. I see the light in your eyes, and it's just an honor to connect with you, man. And I can see that you're holding so much just good energy and presence for, I'm
Yeah,
sure, the people around you, for the listeners here. And I
yeah.
love that you've put this show together to bring forward these kinds of conversations and these kinds of just lessons and connection for people. So I hope I provided value to your listeners, and it's really an honor to meet you and to be on today.
All right. Have a wonderful day, Mr. Andrew. Bye bye.
All right. Goodbye, folks.